Our team was efficient at test maintenance, fast at triaging selector failures, quick at updating broken page objects after a UI refresh, responsive to flakiness. We were also spending 60% of every sprint doing it. And here's the thing, that's not a skill problem, that's a system problem. Every hour spent healing a broken locator is an hour not spent designing test strategy, not spent catching edge cases, not spent building coverage for the feature shipping next week. We were so busy keeping the lights on, we couldn't improve the building. 30 days after deploying a 7-agent autonomous testing system, test maintenance dropped from 60% of sprint time to 11%. 73% of selector failures self-healed without human intervention. Coverage went from 58% to 84%. 94 obsolete tests were automatically deprecated. Today I'm walking you through every agent, the architecture, the system prompts, the Python code, the tools, the orchestration layer, and the honest costs. Nothing held back. Let's build it. 7 agents, 4 workflows, 1 Claude Sonnet backbone. Workflow 1, detect and heal. Sentinel classifies CI failures. Archaeologist finds root cause. Healer fixes and opens a draft PR. Workflow 2, grow coverage. Strategist identifies gaps from Jira. Author writes complete test files. Workflow 3, prune obsolescence. Auditor scans for stale tests and flags them for deprecation. Workflow 4, report and forecast. Narrator generates the Monday stand-up report and risk forecast. All 7 agents share one factory function, one LLM config, one timeout and iteration cap. The base agent factory is the most important piece of code in the entire system because it's what prevents agents from going rogue. Let's build it first, then walk through each agent. Every agent is built through this single factory function. This is intentional. It means every safety constraint is applied uniformly across all 7 agents. We set temperature to 0. Agents are not writing poetry, they are making routing decisions and generating code. Determinism is required. Any temperature above 0 introduces variance you don't want in an autonomous system. Max iterations is set to 10 in the config. We had 3 reasoning loop incidents in 30 days before this was enforced. An agent that can't find a solution will keep trying indefinitely without this hard cap. Handle parsing errors is true. Claude occasionally returns malformed tool calls under load. This flag catches parsing failures and retries cleanly instead of crashing the agent mid-execution. Agent 1. The Sentinel. Classify and route. The Sentinel is the entry point for every CI failure. It classifies the failure type and decides where it goes next. Nothing enters the system without passing through the Sentinel first. The system prompt is the entire logic of this agent. Your only job. The scope constraint is explicit and deliberate. LLMs will attempt to be helpful beyond their defined scope unless you narrow it aggressively. The routing rules are embedded in the prompt as deterministic logic, not left to the model's judgment. When the model isn't sure, it escalates. Autonomous systems that try to handle everything they don't understand are the ones that cause incidents. Agent 2, the Archaeologist, find the exact commit. When the Sentinel routes a logic failure, this agent queries 90 days of GitHub Actions history and Git diffs to find the exact change that broke the test. Follow this order, do not skip steps. Without explicit sequencing, Claude will often jump from step 1 to step 4 when it finds a plausible answer early. The sequence instruction forces methodical execution. Patch 500 Shuroi, diff truncation matters. A single large refactor commit can have a 50,000 character diff. That would fill the context window entirely and crowd out the reasoning. Truncating each file diff to 500 characters keeps the agent's context manageable while preserving enough signal to identify which file changed. Agent 3, the Healer. Fix and draft PR. The Healer is the most operationally consequential agent. It writes code changes and opens GitHub PRs. The prompt's safety constraints are critical. The tier system in the prompt maps exactly to locator stability research. Tier 1 locators survive UI refactors. Tier 5 locators break on the next sprint. The Healer enforces this hierarchy every time. Never auto-merge. This is the most important line in the entire system. Every PR the Healer opens is a draft PR. The system is autonomous in generating fixes, not in shipping them. Agent 4. The Strategist. Find coverage gaps. The Strategist runs every Monday. It reads Jira tickets, extracts scenarios, and cross-references them against the existing coverage map. Docstrings are the coverage map. Every test that has a docstring explaining what it covers contributes to what the strategist can see. This is why docstrings are a team standard. Agent 5. The author write complete test files. The author receives the gap list and writes complete runnable Playwright test files. The output rules are strictly constrained. Not pseudocode, not outlines, not skeletons. The author must produce code that runs. We enforce syntax validation before the file ever leaves the agent. A syntax error erodes trust. Agent 6, the Auditor, deprecates stale tests. The Auditor runs nightly. It scans the suite for tests that are stale, redundant, or covering non-existent functionality. Confidence is the safety mechanism. Confidence 0.85 for deprecate. Below that, review. The Auditor never actually deletes tests, it flags them. The live DOM probe tool provides the evidence needed for certainty. Agent 7, the Narrator, Monday stand-up report. The Narrator runs every Monday at 7 a.m. It aggregates agent activity and generates a risk forecast for the upcoming sprint. Tone is critical. Tone, direct, data first, no fluff. An engineer reads this at 7 a.m. It needs to be scannable in 30 seconds. This is what it actually produces. Everything the team needs to start the week. The orchestrator, wiring all 7 agents together, 3 orchestration functions, 3 schedules, CI webhooks fire instantly, while crons handle the weekly and nightly heavy lifting. The numbers after 30 days, test maintenance time dropped from 60% to 11% of sprint. That's almost 3 full days per engineer returned to actual engineering work. Self-healed selector failures, 73%, coverage on active features, 58% to 84%, suite is 31% leaner after pruning 94 obsolete tests, more coverage, less noise, better signal. 5 honest caveats. Building this took 3 weeks of integration work before the first agent went live, and it's not free. LLM API costs are about $8 to $14 per day at production volume. Straightforward ROI, but it needs a budget. Always enforce max iterations to prevent runaway builds, and remember that 27% of failures that weren't healed were structurally broken DOM. Autonomous systems must know when they can't handle a fix. Autonomous testing isn't about replacing QA engineers, it's about giving them back their sprint time. The full code and prompts are linked below. See you in the next one.